$250 billion. Kristi Noem, the South Dakota Republican governor, who is considered one of the best-run states, the most fiscally conservative states. They count their pennies. She joins us after this. Enter Kristi Noem, the South Dakota Republican governor, who made Cato's top 5 list of governors watching out for the taxpayer in one of the most efficiently run states in the entire country. Governor, very good to have you.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Neil. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, they'll need your advice on Capitol Hill right now, Governor, because it is a mess. And if that's our, deficit for the first month, we've got 11 other months to go.
We do, Neil, and this is something President Trump is ready to tackle. If you remember, I served in Congress when he did tax reform the last time. It was one of the issues I was extremely passionate about. I just believe that the American people expect us to be responsible with the dollars that they pay in taxes, but they also make very good decisions for themselves. We should let them keep as much money as possible and do our duties as a government and what the Constitution tells us to do with their dollars. So President Trump wants to right the ship. I was listening to Governor Walz talk about how hard it is for him to understand why people didn't choose him and Vice President Harris, and it's because their policies bankrupt people. Their policies cripple families and our economy, and what he's done in Minnesota has been absolutely devastating to his economy, and South Dakota's right next door. We're thriving. We're doing well, and it's because we've embraced the same policies that President Trump wants to put in place.
What I was impressed with what you did in South Dakota, and continue to do, Governor, is that you and your people looked at every line in the budget, every line, no matter how statistically insignificant, and to look where there could be savings. Now, we're told Elon Musk might be playing that kind of a role for Donald Trump and sort of seeking out, waste and abuse and all that. We overhear that phrase, but in other words, where you could generate growth versus spending that is just digging a hole. How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Elon will bring an amazing perspective to that discussion. My background was I was a farmer, rancher, business owner, had several different businesses too, and I brought that perspective to the governor's office, and it made me a better leader. It made me put the time in that I would in a business and look at every single item. In fact, we spent all day yesterday going through our state budget again because I'll propose the next fiscal year here in just a couple of weeks. So, that's what leaders do, is they make the hard decisions. They look at these budget situations and how can I help the people in my state thrive? Many times it's not through more government spending. It's through giving them incentives and opportunities to invest in themselves so that they can provide for their families.
Still, Donald Trump has some big goals, big tax cut goals, goals that some have priced at, adding another $5 to $6 trillion to our debt in the next 10 years. I often find, Governor, with these predictions, they're not worth the paper they're written on because the very next week the figures have changed. But having said that, do you think the aggressive tax plan he's looking at should be paid for?
That tax plan is designed to help our economy grow and to bring manufacturing back home, research back home, and to help our businesses and families here do better. It will absolutely bring more dollars into the United States of America and help address our debt. But the president's not just focused on tax cuts. He's got plans for how he's going to eliminate our debt, what he's going to do to pay it off, strengthen our military. He has told me several times now, a couple of times just since Election Day, about how focused he is on doing big things. He knows he only has 4 years, and he wants to hit the ground running, and he said anybody that I want around me needs to be thinking big too.
All right, so big things can cost big bucks, but you think that he will have ways to pay for all of this?
He will have a plan to do the right thing for the American taxpayer and the citizens that live here. He's talked to me about those. He's talked to the people of this country about some of those plans, and they've embraced them wholeheartedly. You remember the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. He's going to do all of those things. And we are going to thrive because people will have more dollars in their pocket, and they'll be extremely successful and happy providing for their families while our nation is more secure.
Governor, always good talking to you. Kristi Noem, the beautiful state of South Dakota.